Welcome to the YuniKorn demo videos. In this demo video we will look at the placement rules in YuniKorn, especially at the placement rule using application tags, which we can leverage for Kubernetes namespaces. I have set up a new Minikube Kubernetes environment on my machine. In this setup we will create two new namespaces. We will use them to show scheduling based on the name of the namespace. All files that I'm going to use in this demo are part of the examples in the repository. So the first step is creating the namespaces. The namespace YAML file contains two new namespaces, development and production, and we'll see what we're going to do with them later on. So let's create them first. Okay, so under namespaces we have got two new namespaces, so that's the first step. So for this demo we also have an updated queue configuration. The first change is the submit ACL that we can see here on the root queue. So the placement rule changes also include the enforcement of queue ACLs. A rule can only succeed if the user who submits the job has access to the queue. ACLs are set to allow access by users and or groups. If no ACL is configured or the user and group do not match, access is denied. The ACL check is performed from the leave queue up through its parents to the root. If any queue on that path allows access, the checks stop. To make it easy, I set the wildcard ACL, the star, on the root, which means that anyone can submit to all queues. Further details are in the YuniKorn scheduler ACL documentation. All the syntax is defined with simple examples for you to look at further. So the second change that we've made is the placement rule, which is here at the end of the file. This demo uses the tag placement rule with two parameters set. There's more rules defined, and different rules with different configurations and different parameters are all explained in the documentation. So in this case we are using the tag rule, which can take a number of parameters. So the parameters that we have set is, the first one is the value. This defines, for the tag rule, it defines the application tag that is used in the placement rule. So application tags are simple key value pairs that can be set on an application by, for example, the shim. In this case we use the tag called namespace, which is set by the K8 shim for every application that is created. The second parameter is the create flag. This flag defines the behavior of the rule around rule creation. If the flag is set to false, the queue must exist in the configuration. If the flag is set to true, the scheduler will automatically create the queue when needed. So, as I said, for further details, see the placement rule documentation that we've got. Before we create the scheduler, we need to create the config map. So let's do that. We're done there. And then the last step that we need to do is we create the scheduler based on a standard deployment that we've already got out here. So, because I want to show you a couple of things in the web UI, I'm going to forward the web UI to the local host on here. So, there we go. We're connected to the system, and we currently have two queues, default and development, as per our configuration that we've got here, and we've got no applications running. The first pod that we're now going to create is going to be using the typo, the dev workspace, the namespace. So we've got namespace development set here. As you can see, we are not providing a queue anywhere in our information, but we're using the scheduler YuniKorn. So let's see where this application ends up when I submit it to the scheduler. So we've got the pod created, and if we now go and have a look at the need to reload. So we can see what's going on, and then we should see a pod sleep running here. Okay, so this should have a corresponding application in the web UI, and there it is, and it's running in the queue root development. So looking at the queues, there we go, and we see the capacity being used. So that was the example for an existing queue. Let's see what happens if we're going to use something slightly different. This is the second pod that we're going to create. So the difference between the first and the second pod is that we're going to submit it to a different namespace. We still don't have a queue defined or anything beside the scheduler name. So we're going to submit the pod. The pod sleep 2 is created, and let's go and have a look at the production list, and we're waiting. We're in the status creating, and now we are in a running state. So from Kubernetes point of view, we are sleep 2 in the production namespace. So how does this look like on the YuniKorn web UI? Let's first have a look at the queues. As you can see, we now have a new queue that's being created, production, and production has got some capacity usage, and if we're going to look at what is running there, we can see that we've got the application namespace 2 is running in the queue root production. So we now have a new queue root production which is specially created for it. So this is just a simple example around placement rules. Placement rules can handle lots of complex cases, specifically when you introduce filters on the rules or you turn on or off the create flag and set restrictive ACLs. Hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching.